Good morning and welcome to another episode at Ewetopia Farms. So Arnie's doing a sales barn run again this morning, so I'm on my own. So first order of business was feeding Tom and Buddy. And now these guys are demanding their bottles. So we'll go feed them too. So this is the straggler group creep area. Not as fancy as the other ones. But they have their own little creep feeder here. And that's Kit eating. And that's Cat next to her. And they come in here to be away from these mums. And these are the big boys. And I'll let them out. Got to pick out a few rams for someone. They're going on the Nova Scotia run. So I'm going to let the rams out, but later on today we got to catch a few of these, and because people are coming to buy some rams and we want to have them all inside in a pen so that they're easy to look at. But for now they can all go out. Hi Snappy. Hi. Hi guys. Go on. Go on, silly. Join the others or you're gonna get left behind. And unfortunately for Glad, he can't go out to join them. We'll go in and check and see how he's still limping today. So we're gonna give him a bit more copper tox. And hi buddy. I'm gonna go get you some copper tox again to put on your foot. Just to dry it up. You'll be okay soon. This is what we use to pour on their feet when they get scald. I guess it's called copper sol, but there's also copper tox. It's just a fluid that you pour on their feet, and it disinfects the foot and helps to dry it up quicker. So I'm at the back of the main barn, and I see that Arnie was able to load all the ram lambs, and we had some old cull ewes here and they're all gone, so we managed to get them all on. There's Gladiator. I'm going to go in and give him his copper tox. He's a little sad because he saw everyone go to the field. But first I'm going to clean up all these gates and stuff Arnie used for sorting the sheep and getting them onto the trailer. So I'm with Glad, and this is the copper, copper sol. And you just squirt it. He doesn't like it because it burns. But you just squirt it between his toes. And because it's a little wound, I think it burns. But I got it on there, and it does help dry it up much quicker. And because he's in rehab, he gets a treat of grain. That's a treat for you, Glad. It is. Okay, Glad is fed and treated. That breeding group has all been fed, salt and minerals knocked down, and water drinker cleaned. These guys have left. The gates have all been taken down and put away. These guys have all been fed and had their water bowl cleaned, and of course their salt and mineral. This is part of the daily chore every single day. We check all of those things, and of course feeding is an everyday thing when they're indoors. And these guys are done. So we're going to head on out to the coveralls now. Okay, next order of business was the ewe lamb barn. So what happens in this barn for chores is salt and mineral checked, water drinkers cleaned. On the ewe side, I'm still feeding creep, but we're not feeding in these creep feeders anymore for these girls because they have access to the whole main manger. So I feed a little bit of creep to them still in the manger, but now they're mainly eating hay, and I also release them so they can go out on pasture as well. So we've really cut back the creep feed for these girls. And then on the other side, these little guys are still getting creep feed in the creep troughs just because the mothers are in here, but I imagine in the next few days these mothers will be leaving and it'll be the same process at that point. We'll pull the rams out, and I think we're going to put all the girls together and the rams on one side. And I'm thinking we might move the group in the barn into this pen so that they can have a nicer barn and a better creep area. We'll see what Arnie thinks about that, but that's my plan. And like I say, these guys were all released. Hello. Hi. And we got someone coming for some 4-H lambs again out of this group this afternoon, or early this evening. They're driving an awful long way. So we'll have a look at what they choose. Hi, sweetheart. I'm thinking this girl, she may end up in the show group with number 2, because she's from Felon. You have to have a couple of matching ewes. So this barn is done. Maybe I can tell you about what I'm doing with these ewes right now. The ewes kind of look like a mess, but I'm doing that for myself, for trying to pick out my show sheep. We've been really busy trying to get beans and haying done. Like, we're really behind because of the weather. And then people are calling constantly about lambs and stuff like that, and if they're not sorted they can't leave, so people just have to be patient. I could give people from the other group, but I like to have the lambs weaned and eating on their own for a couple of weeks before I let them leave the farm, just so that I know that they're eating properly and can drink and are adapting well without their mom. I'm not going to send a lamb who could be a problem for somebody, so these things take time. So anyone who is waiting for lambs, be patient. They're not going anywhere, and we're looking after them well. But back to the show sheep here. All the ones with a whole bunch of squiggly marks all over them are the ones that I'm going to be keeping, and most of them are the January lambs. But I did keep a couple from each of the younger groups as well. And on their back, it tells me the name of the ram. So you know that we have 3 rams we're thinking of showing in the Suffolk class. And all of them are sired by different rams, which is unfortunate, because if they were all sired by the same ram, I would only need to pick 3 females. Because there is a class called Get of Sire, in which you have 2 ewe lambs and a ram lamb sired by the same ram. It's a class we really like to be in. So each of those rams has to have a corresponding 2 females sired by the same ram. So now I've been marking my keepers, and like this one has an F on her back, so she's from Felon. That means I could, if I choose her, match her up with number 2. Who are you guys out of? This one here is Gladiator, so it could go with number 3. And over here we got somebody. That's Geronimo. Unfortunately, we don't have a Geronimo ram because we have quite a few nice Geronimo ewes, but we won't be showing her. And here's another gladiator one. So this way I can look at the gladiator ewes and decide which ones I like best, the two I like best. And those are the two I will concentrate on trimming up and getting ready for a show. And that one with the H is a handsome, because I need two handsome ewes as well. So that's what all the marks are for. It's just so when they're in a lineup eating at the trough, I can have a good look at them, and I'll probably run in and put a final mark to say that these are the ones that I'm gonna catch and halter train and shear up and get them ready to go. But that's a gladiator one there, and I'm liking her quite a lot, so thinking she might be one. People often say to us, oh, it must be easy picking show sheep because you got so many. But it's actually way harder when you've got so much sheep. And even people coming in to buy, when they come to pick out who they want to buy, it's difficult because there's so many, and there's a lot of good ones in here. And so you are nitpicking at them. And if you go into a barn and there's just 6 sheep to choose from, it's real easy. But when you have 60, very, very difficult. So it's a long, agonizing process for us because we really are picking them apart for the smallest of details when it gets to this point. Arnie arrived back just in time for me to let out the ewes to pasture. They're a little slower at it these days, especially since it's a warmer day today. Not quite the mad dash it used to be. But these girls aren't getting grain anymore. These guys are just on pasture. Oh, we got a limper. This is why we hate putting sheep out on pasture. No problems when you have them in confinement with this type. At the moment, the barn with the dry ewes is the easiest one to look after. It's always the salt and minerals, but the ewes that have yet to be shorn, they're just eating dry hay, that's it. And the other girls are getting let outside, so this barn is the one that's the quickest to do. Cover all. So the ram lambs, they're still getting grain. It's creep feed. And the Dorset mothers over here that are left, they are not getting any grain, but the lambs are getting creep still in the creep feeder. And at the very back of the barn, we got some ewe lambs, and they're getting creep feed too. But no adults are getting grain anymore. Well, unbelievably, it's getting close to our bedtime. We're just tidying up for the night. And the people for the 4-H lambs haven't arrived yet. So we gotta wait for them and still go to the barn and pick out sheep. All the ewes are out for their pre-bedtime grazing. They've come right down to the road. They don't usually come this far down, but we want them down here because this is where all the grass is. Hi girls! Hi! Don't run! Don't run! Oh, dog barked, so that'll be it. As they literally run off into the sunset. So now I'm locking the rams up for the night. They all came in from the pasture. They think I'm going to feed them, so they've already lined up at the trough. Expectations. So it's a good opportunity to see the Dorset ram lambs now, since they're all politely lined up. Hi, you guys. Hi. Hi. Hello. How you doing? Ferdinand. But Arnie's just finishing up disking a field. Oh, and there's Scotty. He's discovered a ram. He has a way with them, that's for sure. Hi, Ferdy. It's hot, isn't it? Really hot. Really hot. That ram is making friends with Max. He doesn't know Max is just as liable to bite him. Hi. Who are you? You're so nice. So nice. Yes, you are. Oh my goodness. Now Scotty's discovered Judas. Judas has got his tail out. So he's loving it. So we lock everybody up at night because of the coyotes. So we got a perimeter fence that goes down to the ground all around our farm. And then we have internal paddocks, which we close the gates. And everybody's safe. Hi, General. Hi. Hi, how you doing? Oh, those silly little guys. I told you, it's the little ones that are the troublemakers. Normally my routine at this time of the night is to be editing my YouTube video. But tonight I have to wait for somebody to arrive, so I'm out in the barn. I'm feeding the last bottles to Kit Kat and Caboodle. That's the little guy, the last one born. He's quite a frisky little thing. He settled in here really well. And Arnie's still in the field, but he'll be getting home shortly because it's getting dark. And I'm going to go get all the lights on in the coveralls. The ewes are in from the pasture, so they've come out to the scratch post, and a few of them are having an itch before bed. There's always somebody hanging around at this post. And these are the dry ewes. And because it's getting dark, you see there's a few outside still, but most of them are in already. They don't want to stay out in the dark. It's rare that we have to go chase them in at night. They're usually always here. But they think they're being fed now, because this is usually what Arnie does at night. This is the ewe lambs. Some of them are outside. Luckily, they've got a little bit of wool on them because the mosquitoes are ridiculous out here. Ben? Hi. Hi, you guys. So these guys who came so late finally arrived. But they had a good excuse. They were delivering pigs, right?
And I said to Kevin, happened today. I'm like, you watch. They're going to have their piglets this next
Oh yeah, never
afternoon.
fails, right? But they knew exactly what they wanted. They didn't choose Hunchy or Tammy, but they chose two others. And we'll have a look at them, and they might be sisters. I got the scanner here just to see who they are. And we got them over here. But Sierra here, she's the one doing the 4-H, and she picked hers like she saw them, liked them immediately. She knew what she was wanting, and they might be sisters because they have the similar tags, and it's those two right there. And you can see when I talk about buying uniformity, those two are very, very similar, so I wouldn't be surprised that they are sisters. But it's kind of neat seeing people who know exactly what they want, what they like, and what they're looking for. So we'll have a mad catch in a minute. They had a really long drive, and you can see it's pitch dark now. How many people does it take to catch a lamb?
There you go.
We're going to read her too.
Hey.
I kind of hope it is a sister. Hannibal twin. Sisters.
That's funny.
Sisters.
Really? No, that's all.
And they're from Hannibal.
You okay?
Well, they've all gone home, and it's pretty late now, so we're gonna say goodnight and hope you'll join us again tomorrow for the next episode at Ewetopia Farms. Good night.